Hi everybody, this is Wemmje, and welcome to my Love VFX course, in which I will talk about the creation of my fantasy short film nöck with Nuke Studio. You can find the link to my short film in the description of this video. The whole course is mainly focused on the compositing side of this short film, but in this third lesson of the course, I will talk about the production of my fantasy short film nöck. Having the previs as a base for the production of this project was a very pleasant experience. But to avoid any waste of time, I created a shooting plan to know what I had to shoot and in what order I had to shoot it. The shooting plan consisted of screenshots of the previs, some additional screenshots of the cameras in the 3D viewport, and some notes that helped me to remember what I had to do and shoot for every shot. I exported the shooting plan as a PDF, so I could look at it on my iPad during the whole production along with the previs. Having a shooting plan or schedule is pretty much a standard procedure on every film set, but I can't stress enough how important such a document can be when it comes to working efficient on set and saving a lot of time. To prepare for my role as a director on set, I watched many tutorials to learn the most important aspects of directing a short film. One YouTube channel that I can highly recommend is Film Riot, which you should definitely check out if you don't know them yet. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel in the description of this video. There are 3 things I learned about directing that really stuck with me, because I believe they're very important when it comes to being a good director on an indie short film set, which are: to be very well prepared, hence the shooting plan, to always be nice to everybody and make sure that everyone is having a good time, and to make sure there's good food on set. Of course, there's much more to the job of a director, and I'm excited to learn more about it in the future. But overall, I just want to keep on making films and animation projects. Another very important aspect of creating a short film is the process of casting great actors. This was the first time that I ever had to cast someone. I was very lucky to have found Florentine, who was the leading actress in the short film. I found Florentine through an agency in Hamburg, Germany, which is called Kinderagentur Höppe. The agency was very kind with their support, knowing that this was a non-commercial project. The role of the mother was played by my wife, and in 2 shots I played the role of the father. Florentine and my wife did an amazing job, and Florentine's mother, who was always on set, was very supportive and awesome. That is why I want to thank all of them again for helping me realize this personal project. It really means a lot to me, and I'm very grateful for their support. The camera that I used for the short film was the Ursa Mini Pro G1 by Blackmagic Design, and I recorded the whole project in the Blackmagic RAW format in 4.6K, which was an awesome experience because it was super easy to take my recorded footage and convert it into ACES plates in DaVinci Resolve. But I will talk about the ACES workflow that I used for this project in the next lesson. The 2 bad things that I can say about the Ursa Mini Pro G1 are that it is quite heavy when it's fully prepped with a lens and a battery, and that it still shows a fixed noise pattern in low light situations. But the weight of the camera can also be a good thing when it comes to using it to stabilize handheld shots. And during this project, I actually found a way to reduce the fixed noise pattern significantly with the help of Nuke. But I will talk about reducing that fixed noise pattern in Nuke in a later lesson. Overall, I have been super happy with the camera since I've gotten it in 2017, and I'm sure that it helped me to become a better compositor, because it's always great to be able to record your own plates whenever you want to test something out or create personal projects with it. The awesome thing about cameras for indie filmmakers is that the market for them is getting bigger and bigger with every year. When I look at cameras like the Ursa Mini Pro 12K or the Red Komodo, I'm very excited about what the future will bring for indie filmmakers in terms of bang for your buck. The lenses that I used for this project are the 24, the 50, and the 85mm Sigma Art lenses, which are full-frame prime lenses. I have been looking for such lenses for a long time, and I also wanted them to be able to cover a full-frame camera sensor, to have a set of lenses that is future-proof in terms of being able to get a full-frame cinema camera in the future. I usually use them in combination with a 1/4 black Pro Mist filter by Tiffen to make the image look a bit softer. I'm very happy with the look of the Sigma Art lenses, and I'm sure I will be using them for many years to come. The LED light that I used outside to simulate the moonlight was the 120D Mark II by Aperture, which can run on a single V-mount battery if that battery is powerful enough. I recommend to use a 190 Wh V-mount battery for this light, which you can get online for around €200. I also used an Aperture 2X Fresnel modifier with the 120D, which helped me to control the lights and make it a bit harder. That gave me the type of moonlight look that I was trying to achieve. This brings us to the creature and the footage I had to shoot for the visual effects part of the short film. For every shot in which the creature appears, I had to shoot a 360 HDRI or spherical high dynamic range image, a clean plate, a lighting reference plate, a chrome and grayball plate, and a Macbeth chart. Let me explain why I had to do all of that. I shot clean plates to have all of the shots in which I could integrate the computer-generated or CG creature. To be able to do that, I needed to create 3D camera tracks for these clean plates in post-production. With this 3D camera track or digital version of my live-action camera, I could render image sequences of my 3D creature that would match to the perspective and movement of my live-action plates. I also shot a lens distortion grid with the same camera and lens setup and camera settings that I used for all of the clean plates for the creature shots. I would recommend to shoot your lens distortion grids before or after your principal photography, so you can take your time with them in order to shoot them as accurate as possible. Just keep in mind that you need to have matching lens distortion grids for all of your clean plates, so you can create accurate 3D camera tracks for all of your clean plates. I will talk about 3D camera tracking in Nuke and how to use a lens distortion grid in Lesson 5 of this course. Now let's get back to the rest of the footage I had to shoot for the visual effects part of the short film. I shot a reference plate with my colleague Eric so that he could serve as a lighting and framing reference for the CG creature. Doing that was not as good as having a life-sized upper body model of the creature on the film set would have been, but it was still certainly better than having no reference plate at all. Using a good reference for your 3D work or in compositing is one of the best things that you can do when it comes to making any computer-generated element or composition look photoreal. Here is why I shot a chrome and gray ball plate. The gray side of the ball can be used to get a reference for the color temperature and lighting of the scene, and the chrome side of the ball can be used to get a reference for the lighting of the scene and the alignment of the environment relative to the position of the live-action camera. That information about the alignment of the environment is very important for the lighting process in your 3D application, because it can help you to match the alignment of your spherical HDR in 3D to the reflection of the chrome ball in your reference plate, right until the reflection of your 3D chrome ball matches to the reflection of the chrome ball in your reference plate. The Macbeth chart is used to get a color reference for your shot, to make any sort of color calibration easier and more precise in post-production. And finally, the 360 HDRI is used in a VFX production to get a spherical representation of the lighting of your live-action environment, so you can use that as a lighting and reflection source in your 3D animation and rendering application. For the 360 HDRIs, I used my Ricoh Theta S with its respective phone app, which pretty much replaced my former workflow with my DSLR, a fisheye lens, and a Nodal Ninja panorama head. Although I know that the quality of my Ricoh Theta S is not as good as a spherical HDRI with the DSLR, I still prefer to use the Ricoh Theta because it is a faster workflow on set that is more than good enough for most of the 3D lighting situations that I have to use it for. At some point in the future, I will definitely get a Ricoh Theta Z, which can shoot raw images. Since I don't really need 12K or 16K 360 HDRIs, the Ricoh Theta Z could pretty much replace my usage of a DSLR for spherical HDRs on set, at least for the projects that I would use it for. If you want to get a very affordable version of a chrome and gray sphere for your visual effects projects, you can take a look at a tutorial I created in which I explain how you can build your own affordable chrome and gray sphere for around 50 euros. I will leave a link to that tutorial in the description of this video. I want to finish this lesson by pointing out that it has never been easier and more affordable to purchase some filming gear to shoot your own personal or professional projects. More and more people want to get into filmmaking, and the market is responding to that by producing and releasing greater and more affordable film gear every year, which I believe is a wonderful thing. In my eyes, that trend has not stopped since the DSLR video revolution that has started with the Canon 5D Mark II in 2008. But remember that even the best gear that money can buy is useless if you don't know how to use it, and if you have no plan about what you need to shoot to finish your project. Alright, that was it for the third lesson of this course. In the next lesson, I will talk about the ACES color workflow that I use for this project, how to set up a Nuke Studio project in ACES, and much more. Feel free to post any questions you have about my work in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. If you want to see more of these videos, don't forget to subscribe. Again, this is Lars Wemmje. Thank you for watching, and goodbye everybody.